it's Mary with the Painted Peach. Today I am going to make 4 different projects that all go together. Right now I am cutting out some frames on my scroll saw to use for a few of the projects, and then we are going to go over to the desk and sand them up really well so they're not all splintery, and we're going to get started on DIY number 1. I created some printables. I created them all to go together except for one of my projects that will be used in my coffee area. But this one I have cut out the frames and I've got a little cardboard backer, and we're just going to start off by cutting out our printable. I printed this on regular printer paper, and we are just going to start out by painting our board. I didn't want the darkness to show through my paper. Since this is thin printer paper, I was a little nervous about the color being messed up because this is a beautiful pink color. So today I am in a collaboration playlist. This is called DIYDECOR, and check out the playlist in my description for all the amazing creatives that are on the playlist. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. Right now I'm adding Mod Podge to my cardboard, and then we are drying it. We're going to do the iron-on method with all of these today because I do not want any wrinkles happening for these signs. So we're just going to get our little mini iron, and I'm using a piece of paper because I couldn't find my parchment paper, but I definitely would use parchment paper if you did this. Now I set my sign aside, and now I am using some Waverly wax, antique wax, to cover all of my boards that I cut to make my frame. Then I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm wiping off the excess, and we're going to give them a good dry before we use them on our sign. Now I do get some of that wax on my paper, and I am very disappointed in it, but I figure out a way to fix it. You can see right here I'm trying to scrape it off of there, and it just was not coming off. It had a little bit of glue on it. I don't know how I did it, but anyways, we're gonna cover that up with a spider in a bit. So here I'm just gluing my pieces, and then I'm taking my stapler and I am stapling them to the backer sheet. And here I did not video, but here is the spider I added to cover up that spot that I got on there. And you can see right here, I'm showing you where that little tiny spot is. You probably wouldn't care, but I do. Here is DIY number 2 printable, and it says "Hey there, boo," and it's got some cute little ghosties on there. And then I have this little ghost that I cut out of a Christmas ornament, and then I have this old tray that I had made. We're going to take apart, and we're going to use this board for our project. So I'm just unscrewing those handles that were on there from you doing this project before, and we are going to sand over it on the front and the back, and I'm going to use the back of this to do my project. I'm using linen folk art paint, and we're going to cover the whole front of this board. We're going to give it a good dry, and then we're going to use some metallic black paint around the edges and bring it in some onto the front. This is my first time using the metallic folk art paint, and I will say I really didn't see much metallic, but I think maybe if I used it in another way I could probably see it better. But this is the metallic black paint from folk art. So I'm just going all the way around the edges. I'm brushing it in towards the middle just to give it a little bit of like it's bleeding into the middle of the frame, or the board, sorry. And then I'm giving it a good dry. After this, we're going to add our Mod Podge on with a squeegee, and get all the excess Mod Podge off. I just want a thin layer on there, enough to attach my printable, and that way there's no wrinkles. I'm trimming off all the white edges of this print so that it's not showing, and then we are going to Mod Podge it down. Alright, and now we're going to get the dryer and dry that Mod Podge, and then add our printable and do the iron-on method like we did with our last project. Now I'm just taking that black paint and kind of bringing it in a little bit onto that pink area, and then in the white area of the ghosts. Once I do that, I'm going to give it a good dry, and then we are going to get our sander and we are going to sand it and bring back out some of that wood. I start with this little hand sander, and then I decide I need to bring out the big boy, so I get my other sander and I just give it a little bit of power. That way I could bring out that wood. And then I'm going to take that Waverly wax that I was using earlier, and I'm just going to go over the edges of it to darken that wood back up. Alright, we're going to set that aside, and we're going to get us a bow going. So I have some cheesecloth, I have this old pillowcase that is the perfect color of pink, and then I have some of those little bobble ribbons that I've used in another project that I got on clearance at Hobby Lobby. So we're going to use all three of these in our bow for our project. Once we get our bow created, I'm then going to just kind of ruffle it up and make it how I want it. And then we're going to get out our little ghost ornament, and we're going to paint it up and attach it to the bow. So right now I'm just adding some plaster paint to the little ghost, and then we're going to get out our Posca markers. I'm going to get out the black, and we're going to add some eyes to our ghost, and then a little outline around the edges as well. Right now I'm just sanding it up a little bit, smoothing it out. That way there's no roughness to it when I go to add my eyes. I just love using these Posca pens. It makes life so much easier when you need to do some little details. And I need to buy some more of the thinner Posca markers. These are the thicker ones. I love that I cut this out of a Christmas ornament because it has that little loop up at the top that we can just tie it right onto our bow. I do struggle a little bit with how I want this, and in the end I end up using a little bit of hot glue to attach my ghost to the board, and then just have my bow at the top. I think out of all the projects I do in this video, this one is my favorite. I just love the little ghosty. He's so precious, and I hope that you like this one as well. See here, I'm fiddling. Alright, here is DIY number 3 and 4. We're going to do them both at the same time, and we're just adding our Mod Podge straight on to our backer sheet, or our cardboard backer, and getting off the excess, put it back in the jar, and then we're going to dry them, and then we're going to iron them both on at the same time. I figured we'd get 2 of these projects done at once, since they're pretty much the same with doing each process. At this time, I do want to remind you that this is a collaboration playlist. Here are our hosts for today, and I hope that you'll check out all of their channels as well as the playlist that is in my description. Alright, we are staining up all of these frame pieces that we cut on the scroll saw with some Waverly wax, getting them good and covered, and then we're wiping them back one by one to get off all that excess wax and make it look like it's just been stained. Alright, now that we've got all of our wood pieces stained, we are going to build our frames. It takes me a minute to remember which pieces go with which. I kind of mixed them up. So you'll see me just playing around here trying to figure out which way they go. Once I figured that out, we're going to use hot glue to glue them on and staples to put them together permanently, and then we will be done with DIY number 3 and DIY number 4. I really like how all of these turned out and how easy it was to build my own frames. I've always loved these types of signs, and I think they look really good in your home. So I'm so excited that I am now able to build my own. All of these printables that I've used today I did create, and they are available in my shop over on Ko-fi, and that link is in my description if you would like to make these signs for yourself or use these printables for something else. Alright, we're putting our coffee sign together now. This is the only one that will be displayed separately, of course, because it's a coffee sign, and I'm going to put it over by my coffee pot. This boo sign is going to go with the other 2 projects that we completed today. And I also have a surprise little project that I did last year with my VIP group over on Facebook. It is a subscription group that we do weekly things in, and then we have a monthly kit. So the little ghost that I put out with these is something that we created in that VIP group. If you want more information about the VIP group, that's also in my description. Alright, here is our finished projects, you guys. They're so cute together. I just love the pink and black and the wood. I just think it looks so cute. And there's that ghost. It looks perfect with these little signs. I think it's so adorable, and I can't wait for Halloween. Here is the coffee sign. I'm brewing myself some coffee after all that work, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you love these projects as much as I do. I'd like to thank my hosts today for allowing me to be a part of this playlist, and I hope that you'll check them out as well as the playlist in my description. And again, I'm Mary with the Painted Peach. I hope if you enjoyed this today that you'll subscribe to my channel, you'll give me a thumbs up, you'll hit that bell notification, and you'll come back for another day. Have a great evening, everyone. See you next time.